Welcome to a deep dive into the world of AI. And yeah, AI is kind of everywhere, right? I mean, it's like Netflix is reading our minds sometimes with those recommendations or those chatbots. They're getting so good. I swear they're almost human.
It really is fascinating. AI is so embedded in our lives now, even if we don't always see it.
Right, like it's sneaking up on us. But speaking of sneaking up, one of the sources mentioned that AI isn't a new idea, really. Apparently, people have been thinking about artificial beings for centuries, even in ancient myths.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how those ideas pop up through history. But the foundation for the AI we know today, that really started in the 1950s. 1956, actually, the Dartmouth Conference. That's where the term artificial intelligence was
The
born.
start of something big. And so much has happened since then.
It hasn't always been smooth as sailing, though. The sources I read mentioned some periods where things slowed down, progress stalled. You know, AI winters.
Like a technological hibernation. One source connected those AI winters to the limits of the technology at the time. Basically, early AI systems just couldn't live up to the hype.
That's right. But then the 1990s brought this resurgence. We saw huge improvements in computing power and this new focus on machine learning. And one event really captured everyone's imagination. IBM's Deep Blue beating chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov in 1997.
I remember that. Everyone was glued to the news watching a computer take on a human genius. I think what struck me was Deep Blue's victory wasn't just about chess. It felt like it showed the whole world just how powerful AI could be.
Absolutely. And that brings us to machine learning. It's at the core of all the progress we're seeing with AI.
So instead of giving a computer every single rule, now we feed it tons of data and let it figure things out on its own.
Exactly. It's like giving someone a cookbook versus letting them loose in the kitchen to experiment until they find something amazing. Machine learning lets AI look at these massive data sets, find the patterns hidden in all that information, and then it can make predictions that are often amazingly accurate.
Just like those Netflix recommendations we were talking about. Okay, so machine learning is the foundation. Where does deep learning fit in? The sources mentioned it as a total game changer.
Think of it like this. Deep learning is like machine learning, but supercharged. It uses these really complex, multi-layered networks called neural networks. They're inspired by the structure of the human brain.
Whoa. Okay, that sounds intense.
That's
So we've gone from basic algorithms to AI that processes information almost like the human brain.
In a way, yes. And that's how deep learning is able to handle these really complex tasks, from self-driving cars to recognizing faces in a crowd.
So it's not about playing chess anymore. It's AI navigating our world, making the kind of decisions that used to need human intuition. But the source has also made it clear, not all AI is created equal, right?
Right. It's important to separate the different types of AI. What we mostly see today is the narrow AI. Sometimes it's called weak AI. These AI systems are really good at specific things, but they're not generally intelligent, like Siri or Alexa, super helpful for certain tasks, but they're not about to start writing poetry.
Right? They're specialists, not about to take over the world or anything. But that brings us to general AI. That's where things get a little more science fiction, right? Are we talking fully self-aware robots?
Not just yet. General AI, or strong AI, that would mean an AI that can learn and understand any intellectual task a human can. It could adapt to new situations and solve problems in different areas. It's the kind of AI you see in the movies, capable of real reasoning and independent thought.
Okay, so we've got our narrow AI specialists and then general AI, which is still mostly theoretical. But there was this third category, superintelligence. That's where things start to get a bit unsettling, right?
Superintelligence is the idea of AI becoming more intelligent than humans in pretty much every way. It's a topic that brings up all kinds of questions, philosophical, even existential ones.
It's that classic sci-fi movie moment where the AI outsmarts its creators. But before we go full sci thriller, let's bring it back to reality for a sec. The sources were clear that AI, in its current form, is already changing so many industries.
It absolutely is, and in so many different ways. Look at healthcare AI as being used to analyze medical images, and it's doing it with more accuracy than humans. That means faster, more effective diagnoses. It can even help with complex surgery, guiding robotic arms with incredible precision.
Wow, imagine that AI saving lives by working alongside surgeons.
Yeah.
This isn't about replacing doctors. It's about giving them new tools, helping them do things we never thought possible before.
That's it, exactly. And AI's ability to handle huge amounts of data, it's not just useful in healthcare. In finance, it's being used to catch fraudulent transactions instantly, assess credit risks better, even make investment recommendations by looking at all the complexities of the market.
It's like having an army of financial analysts working around the clock, catching every little detail humans might miss. That's incredible, but I have to admit, thinking about AI making big financial decisions does make you wonder about the downsides, too.
Of course. AI has amazing potential, but we have to address the challenges that come with it. And one of the biggest concerns is the impact on jobs. As AI becomes more advanced, it makes sense to worry that it could automate some jobs out of existence. It's a little like we're heading into uncharted territory. We've got this incredibly powerful technology, something that could change our world in ways we're only just starting to grasp.
Totally. And every day there's a new headline, right? Some big AI breakthrough or some new thing to worry about. So where do we even start to make sense of it all, let alone steer it in the right direction? One source talked about responsible AI development. That phrase really stuck with me, but what does that actually look like?
It's a big challenge for sure. It means really thinking about ethics every step of the way. We're
Yeah.
talking about building AI systems that line up with our values, that respect human rights, and promote fairness for everyone.
So it's not just about what AI can do, it's about how it does it
Hmm.
and what the consequences of those actions might be.
Right. It's about making really careful decisions about the data we use to train AI. It's got to be diverse, representative, and free from bias. And the algorithms themselves, they need to be designed with transparency in mind. We have to be able to understand how AI reaches its conclusions.
Because if we don't understand why AI makes a decision, how can we trust it? Especially in things like healthcare or finance. Those are high-stakes decisions.
Exactly. Transparency builds trust and accountability, and then there's regulation and oversight.
Right, because like with any powerful tool, there's always the potential for misuse. But how do you even start to regulate something as complicated and fast-changing as AI?
It's tough, no doubt. One of the sources suggested a multi-stakeholder approach. Governments, industry leaders, researchers, ethicists, even the public. Everyone has to be involved.
So basically, a global conversation to figure out how to use this power responsibly. It makes you wonder, is there a roadmap for this? Have we ever had to get ahead of a technology that's evolving faster than we can fully understand?
It's a unique situation, that's for sure. But there are probably lessons we can learn from other technological revolutions. Think about the printing press, the internet. Every one of those brought about huge changes, good and bad. The important thing is to learn from history, anticipate the problems, and build safeguards into the system right from the start.
Being proactive, not reactive. We need to shape the future of AI, not let it shape us in ways we don't want. One source said this, and it really struck a chord with me. They said it's not just about preventing harm, it's about making sure AI is used for good in the world.
I completely agree. Imagine AI helping us solve some of the biggest problems we face: climate change, poverty, disease.
Now that's a future I can get behind.
Yeah.
The sources I read, they highlighted some amazing examples of AI being used for good already, right?
Definitely. We're already seeing AI being used to develop renewable energy, create personalized learning plans for students, even predict and prevent natural disasters. And those are just a few examples.
Feels like we're on the verge of this whole new era. We can use this incredible technology to solve problems that have been around for centuries. But we can't ignore the other side of the coin, right?
Of course not. We can't be afraid to face those concerns head on. One source put it like this: it's a balancing act, harnessing the power of AI but controlling the risks at the same time.
A double-edged sword. Capable of amazing things, but with potential dangers too.
Right.
We've talked about jobs, but what about the ethical side? Are there other concerns beyond the economic impact?
Definitely. One thing that comes up a lot is the potential for AI to make existing biases in society even worse. If the data we use to train these AI systems is biased, it can lead to unfair outcomes. Discrimination in things like hiring, lending, even criminal justice.
It's like we're accidentally teaching AI to be prejudiced. That's a scary thought.
It is, and it shows just how important it is to make sure the data we use to train AI is diverse, representative, and unbiased. We have to think about the consequences of every choice we make during development.
Like that old saying, garbage in, garbage out. We feed AI biased information, we're going to get biased results.
Yeah.
And those results have real consequences for real people.
Exactly. We have to keep those ethical questions front and center as we develop and use this technology. We need to be asking ourselves tough questions about fairness, about accountability, about transparency.
It's a huge responsibility, and not just for the people actually building the AI. It's on all of us.
It really is. The future of AI, it's not set in stone. We're shaping it right now with the choices we're making. It's on all of us. We need to be informed, engaged, and willing to have these tough conversations.
And that's what I appreciate about these deep dives. It's not just about how cool the technology is. It's about really digging into what it all means,
Yeah.
the challenges, the opportunities, because this isn't science fiction anymore. This is our future. and we get a say in how it unfolds.
And the more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the challenges and really use this technology for good.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? It's exciting, but also a bit overwhelming, like we're standing on the edge of something huge and we're not sure what's going to happen.
It's true. And one of the sources put it this way. They said, it's important to understand the tech stuff, sure, but understanding how AI affects society, the ethical side of it that's crucial.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about what AI can do, it's about whether it should be done.
Exactly. And that's a conversation everyone needs to be a part of. We're shaping the future of AI right now with the choices we're making, the policies we support, even just talking about it with friends and family.
It's about asking the big questions. What kind of future do we want with AI in it? And how do we make sure everyone benefits, not just a select few?
One source even said they think AI literacy might become as important as knowing how to read and write in the next few years.
You mean everyone needing a basic understanding of how AI works, what it can and can't do, and how it affects us ethically?
Exactly. Because when we understand AI, we can actually participate in the conversations about it, we can push for responsible development, and we can hold the people in charge accountable.
It's like we all have a stake in this AI revolution, whether we realize it or not.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another big part of this, the future of work.
Right? We talked about some jobs maybe being replaced by AI.
Hmm.
What can we do about that? One source talked about it not as humans versus machines, but as a chance to rethink how we work alongside AI.
It's about figuring out which tasks AI can help us with so we can focus on things that require human creativity, thinking skills, and emotional intelligence.
So instead of being afraid AI is going to take our jobs, we should look at it like a partner, something that helps us work smarter, get more done, and feel more satisfied with our work.
Right. And that might mean training people for new roles that work well with AI, supporting people who want to start their own businesses in AI-related fields, and maybe even changing our social safety nets to help people whose jobs are affected by automation.
We have to adapt to the changing job market, embrace lifelong learning, and realize that the skills we need today might not be the same ones we need tomorrow.
It's about being flexible, curious, and open to new things. Because the truth is, none of us really know exactly what the future holds.
There you have it, a deep dive into the world of AI. We've covered a lot of ground, the history, the potential, the challenges, and what it all means for the future.
We talked about everything from how machine learning actually works to the ethical questions about superintelligence. But if there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's that the future of AI isn't set in stone.
It's a future we're all creating together through the choices we make, the things we talk about, and the actions we take.
And by digging into these complex issues, educating ourselves and each other, we can help guide AI in a direction that benefits everyone.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope we've sparked your curiosity, maybe challenged some assumptions, and left you with a sense of the amazing possibilities, but also the responsibility that comes with this powerful technology.